Bible prophecy is active and unfolding daily. Zechariah 12, Isaiah 17, Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38. Here is what the LameStream Media is not telling you.
Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. Things are definitely getting stirred up all around Israel in a host of new ways. The Jerusalem Post reports that Iran is building facilities to make advanced rockets inside Lebanon. This constitutes a whole new kind of threat. It means that the Iranians and Hezbollah are trying to overcome the difficulty of transferring arms over land through Syria into Lebanon by manufacturing them locally. Quote, Iran is quietly gaining traction in Syria, posing a direct threat to Israel, Eastern Mediterranean countries, and the entire Arabian Peninsula. Close quote, National Infrastructure Minister Yuval Steinitz told the Jerusalem Post. Quote, the most immediate and urgent threat is the Iranian plan to transform Syria into some kind of an extension of Iran. Close quote. Steinitz warned that the Islamic Republic may be building a more direct presence in the neighborhood as Syria continues to crumble. Quote, the label will still be called Syria, but it will become some kind of extension of Iran. Syria will also become an Iranian military base. It's high time for the international community in general, and for the two superpowers, the United States and Russia in particular, to sit together and prevent this scenario. Close quote. Yesterday began the first day of Pesach, also known as Passover, which is generally and most inappropriately known as a Jewish feast day or as a Jewish holiday. And that's unfortunate, my friends, because that has created a particular blindness to the fact that Pesach is the first of Abba Father Yahweh's 7 prophetic Kodesh, that's dedicated, appointments with mankind. I have a video that explains each of Yahweh's 7 prophetic Kodesh appointments with mankind, and if you haven't yet seen it, you can do so by clicking the link I have for you beneath today's newscast in the Read More section. Pesach is recognized this year from April 10th through the 18th, when the Jewish people celebrate this time as a commemoration of their liberation by Elohim from slavery in Egypt, and of their freedom as a nation under the leadership of Moses. Pesach also acts as a commemoration of the story of the Exodus, in which the Israelites were freed from slavery in Egypt, an event which took place around 3,300 years ago. That being said, that's man's way of commemorating those events. But please note, again, these are not commemorative events. These are not holidays. These are not Jewish feast days. These are our Creator's appointments with mankind in terms of his plan for salvation. Quite a difference. But again, check out my video if you haven't. It's in the Read More section beneath today's newscast. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Tuesday, April 4th, from the New York Times, at least 69 people, some said as many as 100, died after breathing in poison in the Syrian town of Khan Seyhoun. While chlorine attacks usually kill just a few people, this time people collapsed outdoors and in much larger numbers. Several people were sickened simply by coming into contact with the victims. President Trump blamed the Syrian government of President Assad as the White House called the attack a reprehensible act that cannot be ignored by the civilized world. A spokesman for the Russian Defense Ministry, Major General Igor Konashenkov, said Syrian warplanes had struck a rebel storehouse containing toxic substances to be used in chemical weapons. The U.S. government believes the chemical agent sarin was used in the attack. And on Thursday, April 6th, from the Washington Post, the U.S. military launched 59 cruise missiles at a Syrian military airfield in a direct American assault on the government of President Bashar al-Assad. The airbase was almost completely destroyed. The Trump administration authorized the operation in retaliation for the chemical attack killing scores of civilians on Tuesday, the 4th. President Trump called on all civilized nations to join us in seeking to end the slaughter and bloodshed in Syria, and also to end terrorism of all kinds and all types. The missiles were launched from 2 Navy destroyers in the eastern Mediterranean. They struck the Shayrat Air Base in Homs province, the site from which the planes that conducted the chemical attack originated. The military said the strike, quote, severely damaged or destroyed Syrian aircraft and support infrastructure, close quote. U.S. officials said the Russians were given advance warning of the strike. There's a Russian military area at the base, and the U.S. took precautions not to strike that area. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson on Thursday recalled the 2013 agreement with Syria to hand over its chemical stockpile, and for Russia to monitor that Assad not renege on that deal. Quote, clearly, Russia has failed in its responsibility on that commitment. Either Russia has been complicit or has been incompetent on its ability to deliver, close quote. Then on Sunday, April 9th, from the New York Times, suicide bombers attacked 2 Coptic churches in Egypt, killing at least 40 worshippers and police officers stationed outside. ISIS claimed responsibility for both attacks. The first explosion occurred at St. George's Church in the Nile Delta city of Tanta, 50 miles north of Cairo, where a suicide bomber barged past security measures and detonated in the front pews. At least 27 people were killed and 71 others injured. A second explosion at the gates of St. Mark's Cathedral in Alexandria killed 13 people and wounded 21. The patriarch of the Egyptian Coptic Church, Pope Tawadros II, was in the church at the time but was not injured. A Coptic church official in Alexandria said a police officer at the church gates intercepted a suicide bomber who blew himself up before he could reach the church. 2 police officers and a neighborhood police chief were among the dead. Egyptian security officials found and defused several other explosive devices. A bomb had been planted at the College St. Mark, a boys' school in downtown Alexandria. 2 others were found at the Sidi Abdel Rahim Mosque in Tanta, a famous Sufi shrine. And turning to our Intifada update, on Thursday, April 6th, from the Jerusalem Post, a 20-year-old Israeli soldier was killed and another wounded in a car ramming attack at a bus stop in the West Bank. The Palestinian driver was arrested. A volunteer emergency medical technician said the Palestinian vehicle had come up on the sidewalk and rammed into a group of soldiers who were standing near the bus stop. And looking at our review of last week's news, reports are saying that Iran is building facilities to make advanced rockets inside Lebanon. Iran is quietly gaining traction in Syria, posing a direct threat to Israel, eastern Mediterranean countries, and the entire Arabian Peninsula. At least 69 people, perhaps more than 100, died after breathing in poison in Syria, Russia may have also played a part. The U.S. military launched 59 cruise missiles at a Syrian military airfield in a direct American assault on the Syrian government of President Bashar al-Assad. Suicide bombers attacked 2 Coptic churches in Egypt, killing at least 40 worshippers and police officers stationed outside. And a 20-year-old Israeli soldier was killed and another wounded in a car ramming attack at a bus stop in the West Bank. And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.